What's going on, guys? It's Justin from Push and Profit. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day today. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the best day trading strategy that has led to my success. Now, again, obviously, when people throw the word best around, that's very subjective, right? Just because I say that this is the best strategy for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best strategy that's going to work for you. Of course, there are multiple strategies. This isn't the only absolute one, but I kind of just want to share my best practices in this video, right? So one of the things that really has led to my success is really putting a main focus or more of a priority on the price action and direction of the chart than really relying on indicators, right? Now, I made a ton of videos on this channel talking about indicators. I can name a whole list of VWAP, exponential moving average, simple moving average, RSI, MACD, linear regression channels. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, I have a whole playlist on this, and indicators do help. But at the end of the day, what we have to understand is that all these indicators that you see, they get their data from the raw data that's on the chart. So really the most important thing is, these green and red bars, right? Everything else is coming from this data, but it interprets it in a separate way for you to understand. It might show you guys things in just a different view, right? And that's really what indicators do. That's their purpose. So that's why I always say you shouldn't just trade solely based off indicators and use them more as a tool that kind of help make confirmations with your trades, right? So something I kind of want to bring attention to is we're looking at the ticker symbol SQQQ. This is the bear ETF for the Nasdaq, right? It's a triple leverage ETF, and we could see that around this area, and this is the area I really want to focus on. We don't see the RSI showing that it's oversold, right? The RSI isn't saying, oh, it's oversold. Maybe you should buy here. And then even the MACD, it's kind of showing around this area. That had a crossover, right? Which I guess could be fair, but at the same time, I took my trade over here, which is a little bit after the crossover in the MACD. I took my trade over here and I sold over here, right? So I'm going to talk about also why I didn't sell over here, right? We're gonna break down a lot of things in this video, right? So again, I'm focusing on the direction, right? So obviously, we could see that around here, the stock market today has been very choppy, right? Very rocky. And if you guys kind of realize that today, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys weren't trading today, obviously you guys could see that it was very rocky. Now around this area over here, we had kind of a slightly downward trend, but it was kind of moving sideways, you could see, in comparison to the rest of the day, right? And as you guys know, a majority of the time when stocks move sideways and they're consolidating, that's when they have a big move up or a big move down. That's usually how it goes. It doesn't have to do that, right? I always say the stock market doesn't have to do what you think it should do, but usually that's just what it is. In the stock market, it's really a thing of probability, and most likely when it consolidates, we have that big move, right? So again, we hit this area over here, and this is like the first, set of, solid green candles coming in after, just these red candles, right? We had, a lot of red candles going down and then just a few green candles. So we have some green candles over here. Then we have this major green candle over here. And then again, we sell off, right? But this area right here is where I took my position. And that's because if you guys could, see, I'll zoom in. That's when we broke above the exponential moving average, right? Which, again, it is an indicator, but we could see that now we're moving upwards, right? We're moving upwards, and this indicator is kind of saying, hey, it's confirming the direction. So I wait for the direction, and then I wait for an indicator to kind of confirm that. So I get in, and of course, we have like a slight little resistance over here, but we're still above the exponential moving average. We're still moving up. We're still moving up. And guess what happens around this area? We move sideways. We consolidate, right? And then guess what happens over here? We break below the exponential moving average with about 4 red bars of, going downwards. So I sold over here. Now, you guys might be thinking, oh, man, Justin, why would you sell there? The stock went all the way up to here. You could have made more of a profit, right? And this is where I got to kind of, talk about, something that I always preach about locking in profits. You never lose once you lock in profits, right? I didn't lose just because, it went up more. Yeah, I could have made more, but that doesn't mean I absolutely lost. I got in around this area. So selling around here, I still won, right? Now, again, I told you the reason I sold was because I, was under the assumption that if we break this indicator, and we're having this trend down, most likely we're going to go down. Doesn't 100% mean that it has to, but like I said, the game of the stock market, and I don't even like to call it a game, but it's really just a probability type of deal, right? Right? Most likely it is going to go down once we break this indicator and we had that direction. Does it have to do it? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be defensive, right? And just like they say in sports, defensive teams win championships. You can't just be all offensive. It's kind of the same rule as far as the stock market, right? I can't just 100% be like offensive. I also have to play defense, right? You have to protect your profits, because let's say the scenario went slightly different, right? Let's say I didn't sell. It breaks this exponential moving average. Most likely, most of the time, it is going to go down. Didn't happen today, but most of the time it does. This could have went down, and I could have, the stock could have went over here further down than when I bought it, and that's how I could have had a losing trade, right? But again, that didn't happen because I was very defensive for the day. So I saw this little direction going down. I locked in profits. I was like, okay, this looks like the run is over. Let me get out. It didn't play like that 100%. It actually, boom, swooped right back up. But again, I'm not going to kick myself again. I hope you guys don't ever do that to yourselves where, you're like, oh man, I could have made a little bit more had I just held. You have to remember, why you took that position, right? And why you left that position. And that's kind of what I'm breaking down. I realized, hey, this could go bad. Let me lock in profits, right? So again, tying back into, why I focus more on the direction and the price action rather than, these indicators all the time. I use these indicators as a tool is because they could throw you off sometimes, right? And I kind of want to talk about this area right here before I even made my trade. Remember, I made my trade over here around this area, sold around here. But I want to talk about this area in particularly, right? So let me kind of zoom out to kind of get a clearer picture. So we see the RSI saying it's oversold, right? So imagine if I just based my trade only on the RSI, right? Yeah, we could have, if you played it really well, you could have made a little profit over here, small little profit. But again, it just didn't seem like the direction really was in your favor, right? Yeah, we did move up slowly, but it was very bumpy. We moved up. We didn't pass the exponential moving average. We went down. Then we passed it. Then we went down. And if you guys really pay attention to the overall movement over here, we pretty much moved sideways but slightly down, right? It wasn't like, oh, the RSI said it's oversold and we completely moved up, right? We actually went down, right? It was consolidating, but it was slightly going down. So again, I don't trade just based off indicators, right? I use them as a tool. I use direction as the main priority, what's actually going on the charts, because I know these indicators kind of are just displaying the information slightly differently, right? And it's just saying over here it's oversold. Sorry, it's oversold. So again, yeah, you could have made a little profit, but there was never any confirmation of the direction going 100% my way. Maybe right here there was confirmation, but you saw it quickly broke below down, and it just, didn't really show me a good sign for an entry. So that's really just what I wanted to preach for you guys. Again, just because I say that my best strategy is, looking at price action in direction doesn't necessarily mean it's the best strategy for you. That's just, my opinion of what works for me in my experience. Hopefully, you guys can learn from this. Again, if you guys trade solely based off indicators and it works for you, then why change what you're doing just because I said so, right? If it works for you, then continue doing whatever works for you. I'm just trying to share my best practices. Now, again, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that like button if you saw any value from this video, and also consider checking out the links in the description, because one of the links is a link to our free Facebook group. It's the Push and Profit Facebook group. It's really just a community of individuals that are interested in the stock market that I'm building, and also I typically upload a nightly watch list of stocks that have a potential to profit. Now, again, just because I mentioned those stocks in that watch list doesn't necessarily mean that you have to trade them, right? I just try to present the opportunity, and it's up to you guys to see if you guys see value in them, right? Again, there's a bunch of tickers that you could trade. Just because I show these tickers doesn't mean you have to trade them. I'm just like, okay, there's some opportunity over here. If you guys see value, maybe you can make a trade and make a profit. Again, just like I'm saying with my strategy. But definitely check out that link in the description below. Also, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Again, my name is Justin from Push and Profit. Hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'm out. Take care.